Celebrating its record-breaking IPO, a $75 billion offering.
Some are calling this the greatest wealth-generating event in history. Minting the world's first trillionaire and many thousands of multimillionaires. For Elon Musk, the sky is quite literally the limit. As he spoke of a company with the potential to reinvent the future of humanity.
If there's not a new company that enters space, we will never be a truly spacefaring civilization. And that's what SpaceX is all about, is to take the fiction out of science fiction.
And he conceded that this moment had seemed wildly implausible, even to him.
If people had told me this was gonna happen, I was like, man, you must be smoking some really good crack. Because I think this company's gonna fail.
Musk has been a disruptor in politics and business for years. His X platform stands accused of amplifying abuse and extremism across the world. His own posts have been widely condemned. But his success in developing cheap access to space and his constellation of Starlink satellites
and Starship is a critical piece of the puzzle.
Makes him the pivotal figure of our age. And a big part of today's SpaceX valuation is the idea of putting data centers and the world's vast computational needs off the planet and into space.
So how hard is it to do?
Pitching to investors that it's technically straightforward.
We don't think this is a particularly difficult thing to do. In fact, we think it's easier than our communication satellites.
And just to put this in perspective...
But some experts warn much of this is a mix of hype and hallucination.
The real problem is the AI business, which they kind of just stapled onto the thing a few months ago. That is an actual cash incinerator. That is an actual money furnace. It's designed to make you engage in this kind of hallucinatory sci-fi trip that they're all taking us on to make you believe that the valuation makes any sense whatsoever, but it doesn't.
The scale of Musk's wealth is now difficult to comprehend. $1 trillion, that's a million.
I love fashion.
Makes him much richer even than the greatest of the 20th century tycoons, J.D. Rockefeller, who was the wealthiest ever American, thanks to oil.
And liftoff of Falcon 9.
Musk's wealth is derived not from the earth, but from the heavens. Only a handful of the largest nations are wealthier than Musk, who is now personally worth more than 3% of America's entire GDP. As the closing bell rang tonight, it ended a day that has seen an avalanche of wealth spread across Wall Street and Silicon Valley. The question now is whether SpaceX and the Starship rocket on which its hopes depend change the world or crash and burn.
And Robert, it has been quite the day for Elon Musk and the stock market. So far, so good for the stock flotation.
Well, there are still plenty of skeptics out there, financial analysts who point out that last year SpaceX lost $5 billion, and analysts who say, look, this valuation is so sort of hyped up that only if SpaceX's most outlandish projects like colonizing the moon and putting those AI centers into space, only if those materialize could this valuation be justified. But you're right, yes, so far a smooth and successful day for SpaceX. Their stock ends the day at $160, so that's up about 20%. And this is just the start of a Wall Street AI boom, because later in the year we're expecting IPOs from Anthropic and OpenAI. These are two startups with trillion-dollar valuations. But it is also going to trigger a much wider, more anguished debate about how to tax the ultra-wealthy, and also about the vast inequalities now emerging in our society.